Hi, I'm Bobby Cobb, and I want to welcome you to this overview of the SAMTEC meditation process. SAMTEC is an acronym. It stands for Source Awareness Meditation, Transcendent Experiences in Consciousness. And it is a unique combination of liberation hypnosis, guided contemplation, non-dual direct inquiry, and mindfulness meditation. We kind of blend each of those four things in with the idea of introducing people to the concept that little pithy bumper sticker that we're all probably familiar with in the spiritual community, that we're not human beings with occasional spiritual experiences. Rather, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And 3 years ago, I had a unique experience that maybe I'll tell you about at some point in the future, where I saw that phrase and that sentence and that idea and heard it and understood it from a completely different level. And on one level, it was a completely life-changing experience for me. And on another level, really nothing changed. But the way that I was able to make my way through the world changed dramatically and completely. And ironically, I had just 3 months earlier had finally gotten published on the book stands, my first book on the subject of spirituality. I'd written 3 others for the financial services industry, but this was the first one that dealt totally with the inner game of life and our experience as the way we make our way through the world as spiritual beings having a human experience. And a couple of things that I would like to share with you. First is the understanding that we live in a perceived reality. We have senses, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, that are our sensory inputs, kind of almost our user interface for the human experience. But we know those senses are not telling us the whole story. For example, if you stand on a beach, look out over the sea or the ocean, the earth looks flat. It's easy to see how back in the day when Christopher Columbus was sailing the ocean blue in 1492, that a lot of the people thought that they'd never see him again because he was likely to fall off the edge. It feels like the earth is still and stable, but we know here in Alaska, we're revolving around the Earth's axis at a speed of almost 600 miles an hour. And we're hurtling through space on our annual journey around the sun at in excess of 64,000 miles per hour. And it certainly doesn't feel that way. I mean, it looks like the sun rises in the morning and sets in the afternoon, but we know in reality, it's our spinning that's working all of the magic. And there's an emerging field of psychology that states that stress, illness, physical maladies, emotional distress have one cause, and that is chronic mental stress. That itty bitty shitty committee, that voice inside your head that just keeps prattling on about everything, that literally is talking so much that you can't hear yourself think. If you've experienced that, you know what I'm talking about. And on a more important level, you can't hear the constant guidance of your inner guru, that internal GPS system that's guiding you throughout the day. Because wisdom whispers. And if you've got the cacophony going on inside your cone, then very often you're not hearing those signals. And life is an inner game. I'll give you an example of that. I don't know if you commute to work in traffic at all, or have ever done that, or know anybody who's ever done that. But it's easy to envision somebody who makes the same journey every day. Same car, same road, same traffic, same people traveling more or less at the same time. And one week, you could be making that drive, listening to music, lost in thought, talking to a friend on the phone, listening to a podcast or a book on tape, and just almost feel like time stands still. You know you're going to be late for work. You know you might be going to miss a meeting, but you've already texted and say, hey, traffic's a bear. I'm not going to be there on time. And you might have the experience of just thinking, this is so juicy, so yummy, that I hope it never ends. But fast forward to the next week, same person, same car, same traffic. And if somebody cuts you off, your tendency might be to pull a gun out from underneath the passenger seat and blow their tire out, have a road rage experience. What's changed? One thing: the inner game, our inner quality of mind, our mental state, which is directly related to our ability to be in contact, to be in union with source, pure consciousness, pure awareness. That affects how we perceive the reality. We are victims of the hypnosis of social conditioning, believing that life happens to us. Later today, do an experiment. When you run across a friend, just notice how they're doing. If they're up or they're down, doesn't really matter how they're doing. If they look concerned, if they've got a little bit of a furrowed brow, just comment on that. Just say, hey, you seem unusually happy today. What's going on? Almost always, they're going to give you, in response to that, something on the outside. They're going to say, oh, I just got a promotion, or my boss is off for a week, and, I don't have to deal with all of his or her rantings and ravings, or got a nice bonus, or in a new relationship. Could be a lot of external things that we've been conditioned to believe drive how we feel on the inside. And it is a hypnosis, and it is social conditioning. Madison Avenue is constantly telling you, plus a new car, you plus a little bit more money in the bank, you plus six-pack abs is going to be a happier, better you. But that's not the way this whole thing works. Joy is an internal thing. And what it is that we are seeking, if you've been on a spiritual journey, the thing that you're seeking is the end of seeking. The thing that you desire most is to have your desire fulfilled to the point that you are desireless. And there is a pathway to help you get there. In the last 3 years, I've added that to my coaching practice, taken 42 people one by one through the practice, and 37 of them have had what has been described as an awakening experience. People have often said, well, is this enlightenment? And I kind of reject that term because I, I think when you see your true nature, you'll see that there is nothing to be enlightened. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to add. You're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. There's not a hole in your life that needs to be filled. What we're missing and what we're seeking is that connection and union to source, where we're living an integrated life, full alignment with body, mind, and spirit. And coming up this spring and this summer, I'm going to have a couple of classes where I'm going to be teaching a group for the first time these techniques. It's going to be a 12-week program. It's going to be relatively intensive and give you the opportunity to take an experiential journey with no destination, coming back home again to some place that you've actually never left. If you are intrigued by this little video, I would invite you to put your name and email address in the information below. I've got a more detailed explanation of what's going on that I'll deliver to you by email every couple of days. I'm not going to inundate your mailbox, but give you a deeper taste of what it is that I'm talking to you about. And as the classes are forming, we'll give you the opportunity to jump on some introductory calls and some introductory classes for those as well. So thank you for making it all the way to the end of this video. I hope our paths cross again soon and often. And I will bid you ta-ta for now. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.